here for now, so we'll get going so we have plenty of time. So welcome back everyone to the once a month Holistic Actions Q&A webinars where we reframe all of your questions with the tool using the tools and the framework of Path to Pet Wellness, which of course I know everyone's reading it, and if they're not, I'll be happy to send you a copy. And I'm requesting reviews from everyone here. So I just sent you the review link, even if you just write 5 words. It helps, apparently. Because really, guys, what we're doing here is we are ambassadors starting a movement. And it's a movement to more conscious, compassionate, and better communication with our animals, each other, and the world. So I guess Amazon needs lots of reviews for a movement, goal being 75,000 reviews. No, anyway, Dr. Christina, would you like to get started with questions for today?
Well, sure, but actually, I have a question for everybody, and I don't go with polls. They're too technique oriented for me. Um, my question is, how many of you have a holistic veterinarian of some sort, either local or virtual, that if you are not sure about what's going on or you're working to deeply build health, that you have a partner? How many of you do have that? I know you do, Whitney. Where's your hand? Kathy, don't you? Um, so post in the chat. So if you have tried and you haven't been able to find one, what you want to do is go to this article, read the whole article, and follow the instructions. So that's critical, that you have somebody. So can you do that, Jeff? Thank you.
Yes.
And so therefore, so Amber, you said sadly no. So would you unmute yourself and tell us why? Why don't you have one? What have you done so far to find one?
Hi there. I suppose it's mostly been a Google search. What I will say is there's a lady about 45-minute drive from us who is she is a vet, and um I did some research, and she does something called laser acupuncture, and we've got a wonderful 10-year-old cat that has recently been diagnosed with early stage chronic kidney disease. And so I looked to try and find some alternatives. Really, all the vet tells you is about, I suppose, maybe 3 different types of food. And hold on, let me do my thing.
So Amber, here's the thing. Um, so you definitely, I assume you're not a Holistic Actions member yet.
I'm not, no.
Okay, number one, I suggest that, but we do have an article that's available to anybody, and I just posted that in the chat, holisticactions.com/select. And
Thank
what you
you.
need to do is read the entire article
Sure.
because what it does, Google searching is totally ineffective, except randomly, sometimes you get lucky, but not usually. So you need to read the article to understand why you have to look the way you look, what we're telling you to do in terms of going to all of these different websites, but also it tells you how to evaluate whether there's something that, how to help evaluate if they're good or not. And
Sure.
then it has more of how can you be the best client? How can you help your animals the most by being the best possible client with the veterinarian? What kind of a relationship can you create? Now, Amber, I picked up a tad of an accent. Are you in UK or?
I am, yeah, I'm in England.
Okay, so not all of the links are going to be applicable to you.
Okay.
However, there are British links there. and international links there.
Yes.
And then for everybody, I definitely have worked with people because I do a pet health advising practice to get people exactly what they need and moving them rather than being a veterinarian practicing homeopathy anymore, which I did for 35 years. I'm doing the advising. And I have had people come to me who literally live up a mountainside and they're 2 hours away from anybody, conventional or holistic, and weren't lucky enough to have that one 2 hour away vet be holistic. However, even for people like that, or people who live in Estonia, I think we couldn't find anybody in Estonia. There are homeopathic veterinarians and other
Mm,
veterinarians doing other modalities who do work virtually. So everybody,
You can find someone. You just have to know how to look at it and you'll
right,
find someone.
right, exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's really, and now is the time to do that
sure.
before you're in the midst of a crisis.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I have a homeopathic chest in our pantry, so which I've used for myself and my mum over a number of years. And my understanding is that you can use that for your pets as well. I don't think that should be problematic. So I'm really happy to look into anything homeopathic, and
Yep,
I've got a lot of time.
absolutely. And so if you become a member of Holistic Actions, we actually, pre-COVID, did over 2 year period, we did 6 days of introduction to homeopathy for animals and a 2 day intermediate homeopathy for animals. And you have access as a member to all 6 days. The two intro courses are repetitive, but repetition with homeopathy is something as deep as that is good.
Yeah,
Rather than doing the same course twice to repeat it, you can do the intro twice and it's different each time because of who's in the audience,
yeah.
and then do the intermediate. And if you're using Kent's repertory, um, this is the only place you can actually get a copy of Karen Allen's tutorial to Kent's repertory,
Mm,
which in the second edition I co-wrote and have animal examples in. So if you like homeopathy, we have a homeopathy thread in the forum. And as a non-member, you can search the forum for anything and read. You just can't post. But as a member, you can post.
okay.
And the key shift is a lot of people who have homeopathic medicines in their closet,
Mm.
um, and it should be in your closet, not necessarily a pantry. Make sure they're not near really stinky stuff.
Strong smell.
Um,
Yeah,
okay. Is very often people are using them just acutely,
yeah.
or they're just, even in a chronic condition, they're focused on one problem as opposed to our
Mm,
goal, which you'll hear me repeat frequently today as I'm answering questions. The goal in really WHOL, holistic medicine, is rebalancing the whole.
mm,
And it's almost like a black sphere that hidden inside is the energy field, the vital force. And every time from day one, probably in utero as well, but we can't use that. From day one, any symptom that appears is like opening a window in that black ball.
mm,
And it's a clue. Oh, I can see a little bit of the vital force, maybe not enough to prescribe a remedy yet. And so you collect the totality of symptoms from day one, and you try to find remedies that match the totality. That's very important, except in acute problems. In acute problems, we've got remedies. And again, we've got a ton of courses on holistic actions where we've talked about different, on the webinars, we've given which remedies to use for what conditions. Here's 5 remedies that might help. So yeah, for those of you interested in homeopathy, highly recommend taking those courses and doing that work.
thank
Now,
you.
Amber, you said you were dealing with Kitty with kidney problems.
On a kidney.
Yeah, it's, do you know, we
So
literally Go
Yeah,
on,
so
sorry.
here's the thing. By the way, everybody, I usually have to cut people off a bit. I'm not being impolite,
No,
but
no, that's
we
fine.
do just have an hour. So yeah, the laser acupuncture, if it's being done looking at the whole animal, not just I give these points for every cat with kidney disease, but if they're individualizing the treatment, it can definitely help. Feeding a fresh food diet, you don't need to limit the protein level as long as it's relatively early stages.
Okay.
It's actually a bad thing to limit the protein when you're feeding fresh food. So you want to be feeding fresh food.
Yeah.
And you may want to practice. You may never have to do this, but starting now, when you're petting your cat, practice picking up some skin and pinching it and
Okay.
letting go of it, and then rewarding your kitty. So if you ever have to do sub-Q fluids,
Yeah.
your cat has had 5 years of being rewarded for you picking up around the neck, basically the neck area where it's really loose,
Yeah.
that you've practiced this ahead
Yeah.
of time so that they're like, hey, cool, where's my treat? And if you're feeding fresh food now when there's not a whole lot of problems, then if the appetite gets picky and the homeopathy hasn't quite kicked in or needs to kick in, then you will be able to know what wonderful foods your cat loves.
Yeah.
So, yep. So there you go. All right. Hang in with your question. We're going to move on some more. If you have more, you can raise
I'll
your
type
hand
it.
later.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's see
I'm
what
just going to
we've
stop you
got.
for 1 sec, 'cause Francis asked earlier if we had to submit questions in advance, and like Kim did, if anyone has a question now, just raise your hand
Raise your hand or post it in the
or
forum, either one.
post or
Uh,
do what Anna just did. Yep.
so,
So
Kim, you may have heard my answer. I'm going to repeat what I just said. So, Kim, if you want to come on, okay, you've unmuted
Hi,
yourself.
hi,
So,
Christina. I'm here. My
hi, Kim.
camera doesn't
Sure,
work.
that's
Sorry.
fine. So, what do you think my answer is when you say, would sulfur be what I need for a German Shepherd dog with UTI?
I I just got on.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess work the bladder meridian. I don't know.
Well, if you are using Chinese medicine, then the bladder meridian could be a place to start. However, what's even better is when you have books like AccuDog or Cheryl Schwartz's Four Paws, Five Directions, because even with acupuncture, rather than think if there's a urinary tract problem, it has to be the bladder meridian that's off. Might not be. Might be one of the other
Mm,
meridians that's
yeah,
off.
yeah.
And so
She has a lot of. She was in a shelter. Her owner died. She got bloat. They took out her pancreas. She's has a lot of going on.
absolutely. And giving her a loving, wonderful home is the first
Yeah.
step.
Oh, yeah.
Love is amazingly healing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really important. In terms of homeopathy, we don't prescribe remedies for conditions.
Right. Right.
And we
Okay.
don't prescribe remedies because she had a rescue and grief and this surgery and
Yeah.
that surgery. We
Yeah.
prescribe remedies on the totality of symptoms.
Yes.
So sometimes at the beginning, it can be a little more difficult. With all of those problems going on, I would really encourage you to be working with a homeopathic veterinarian or a Chinese medicine veterinarian that's really working from the whole. Just because there's a lot of little pieces there that
Yeah, our
you might be
Chinese that we
missing.
used for years, she's not available right now.
Okay.
So I've been trying
So,
to work with her myself and mostly
okay.
nervous system and calming.
All
mm,
that's so important. That's
perfect. Yeah.
really wonderful and will make a huge difference. I had posted already, if you go back to 1235 on the chat, holisticactions.com/select will help you find your next vet, whether it's a Chinese medicine locally or a homeopathic vet virtually. So definitely go there. Um, and then, Dr. Jeff, do you have any suggestion just in terms of the support for UTI, bladder support
Well,
supplement?
I would answer the question directly that would sulfur 30C be indicated is what Dr. Christina just said, that it might be indicated depending on the symptoms. If there's blood, there's is this an acute situation? So yeah, I mean, sulfur is indeed one of the remedies that could be useful along with other acute UTI remedies. But, we'd need to know things like
And
she
that's why
said, a
we don't
lot of
have
things.
time
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that
We
just
can't
real
do that
quickly,
here.
Right.
support
She,
wise, what
yeah.
Dr. Christine is asking from me is not that. But, I would add structured water,
Oh, yeah. See,
vitamin
I forgot that.
C, cranberry, and mannose, and that should knock it
D
right out.
mannose, cranberry and D mannose. Yeah. Yep. Those are great ones to add in at this
Okay, and I'm
point.
an herbalist, so I haven't really started working with her with cleavers and nettles and
Oh,
okay.
absolutely.
Well,
Use
then
your
you should
herbal.
just use your intuition for the herbs.
Now, the other thing for everybody
Thank
is
you. Thank you both.
you are welcome, and be sure you do this. So, is if you're a Holistic Actions member, one of your benefits is the Healthy Dog or Healthy Cat journal that you can download and create your own journal. And if you're not a member, you can go to my website, which is my name.com, christinachambreau.com, and you can order that as there it is. There's the hardcover. You can order a hardcover, but if you get the ebook, it was updated and it has some live links and things. But you do have to print and create your 3-ring binder. And that will help you know which things are helping the most. And so that's really important to know. So we'll get to you in a minute, Anat. Next is Frances with possibly a sinus tumor. She's got bone loss in her upper palate. My cat had exactly this, actually. She's already doing acupuncture supplements and a good diet. Hopefully, that's a fresh food diet, a nebulizer, and she's using a nebulizer. I would suggest ozone, and you can do that at home. There's O3 Vets, you can order it there. I would, since you're doing, talk with your integrative vet doing acupuncture and see if she's just focusing on the cancer or if she's really looking at tongue, pulse, and all of that. Go ahead, Francis. Yes.
So we did the biopsy specifically because that's what we thought we were treating, and it came back as nothing.
Oh,
So that's
oh, okay.
why this is, yeah, and everyone was leaning that way. But the bone
Oh,
loss, they're calling it extreme inflammation. So she does do, and one of the vets on your list I worked with for years prior, Margot Roman, who I
mm-hmm,
know
mm-hmm.
you may or may, yeah, and I mean, I could still do ozone suppository or something, but yeah.
Yep.
So that biopsy came back negative, which
Oh,
was
okay.
surprising. Yeah.
Well, still, everything I said
Okay.
applies.
Okay.
Fresh food diet,
Yeah.
love, energy work. Are
Yeah.
you
All of that.
trained? Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we had a great talk about cancer with Kim Parker last year, and
Okay.
she made a huge point of saying cancer is just another chronic disease.
Yeah.
You treat them as if it's chronic disease. So here's a perfect example of that. Everything we said about treating if it was a tumor cancer, it's still the same thing. My cat actually did have cancer. But
Mm.
so yeah, all of that.
Okay.
And the other that pops in my mind is just if is she having trouble breathing at
Yeah.
all? Okay.
It's like especially at night, she's like
Yeah.
a mixed breed, like it's the left nostril, like she'll make this kind of snorty noise, and then we're in New England, so when we go outside right now from outdoors, sorry, inside to outside, she sneezes and does, but
Well,
then
that
the
may be good.
nebulizer seems to be helping a little. We're using a sterile saline.
You might want to explore and offer her essential oils to
Okay,
help the nose,
oh, in the nebulizer?
either in the nebulizer or orally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or petting her with them, whatever seems
Okay. Yeah.
appropriate. Yep,
Okay. All
that
right.
that may help. And snuffle mat, sniff treats, hide food around the house and make her go sniff for it. Get her to use that respiratory tract.
Okay.
Maximize use of the respiratory tract. That would
Yeah.
be one step. And if you can't find a local acupuncturist, then start working with homeopathy. Jeff, where is Martha's practice? Because she's in,
Massachusetts.
but where? Central. Is she near Springfield?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
the
Check
vet I'm
check
working
out.
with does, yeah.
Okay.
Martha?
Martha
Yeah.
Lindsay does
Oh,
homeopathy.
I've been working with Martha for years, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay, great.
now we're shifting. So actually I've been in touch with her about doing homeopathy. I'm just trying to figure out what to do to prevent more bone loss too. So yeah.
All the above.
And then
Okay.
the homie actually
Yeah.
none of the above will stop the bone loss. You know, the physiologic stuff won't, but the energy stuff, like Dr. Christina and homeopathy will as well. Because
Okay.
we've got to treat the susceptibility. You know,
Right.
what is that? You know, why is this happening? Why are we,
Yeah.
we're not just pulling up the weed and getting the top part. But I want to ask before you go, Francis, any challenges? I mean, this has got to be, how's your quality of life?
Yeah, no, before we knew exactly what was going on, it's been stressful. Her appetite's really good. Her energy is subdued, but I'm taking her to acupuncture tonight. She perks up when she's around other people or dogs. So,
Every
yeah,
two do that every
yeah,
So
2 hours.
get her
Try
around other people and
micro
dogs.
engagement of any kind. I mean, what I
yeah.
do is a snuffle mat, and I really recommend a snuffle mat.
Okay.
She's got a good appetite. Use freeze-dried turkey hearts
Yeah.
and the
Okay.
snuffle mat.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would add that'll make her breathing easier right away is a negative ion generator.
Oh, right.
If
Good.
you
Oh,
can't
okay.
do ozone you don't want to do ever respiratory ozone because we know the effect of ozone, but
Right.
negative ions you can generate using something like an ion box for $75 or whatnot. And
Okay.
just
But the ozone does work for the whole body if you're doing it rectally.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
I
just
had,
not, you
yeah.
don't want that in lungs. Yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah.
not
So
respirate.
rectally.
Yep,
Okay. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good.
The integrative vet, I'll just say she wants to increase her omegas and her GI is tolerating it somewhat. So yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And again,
Yeah.
there's no one for everybody. There's
Yeah.
no one right answer.
Right.
And it's to try things as they go along. And remember that each animal and person is on their soul journey. So if you're being offered choices, whether it's conventional or even holistic, that are overtaxing you and your family,
Yeah.
time-wise or financially wise,
Yeah.
then don't let it do that.
Yeah.
Say no. It's okay to allow animals to be on their path and just try something else, see what else can work like that.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you
that's
so
that's
much.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Quick answer to Amber about the kidneys. Don't worry about the phosphorus. That's not a problem unless they're in end-stage kidney problems. Annette, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I'm going to
Diarrhea.
stop you right there because protein you don't worry about. Phosphorus you might because phosphorus is a direct kidney toxin. Protein isn't.
But you're not
Unless
worried
it,
about phosphorus in a fresh food diet. You're not going to do a phosphorus binder at an early stage,
you
right?
might
Oh,
actually.
okay.
I
Okay.
just got off with somebody that's doing a venti, and I'll put a really, really nice holistic phosphorus ponder that you add to the raw diet or any diet really to lower the phosphorus
Excellent.
because
Thank you.
that is more of an issue. Anyway, sorry about that.
Good. No, that's perfect. That's why we have both of us here. We both have different knowledge, and we also both each forget things that then the other, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Okay, so you've done a great job for not feeding. So first thing, it's interesting. That's just what I put into my newsletter. If you want to get my newsletter, you can sign up on ChristinaChambreau.com. And the one coming out in a day or two is about treating acute diarrhea. And that was the first thing, was go ahead and fast. But first off, how's your dog doing? What's the beam like? Behavior, energy, appetite, and mood.
He seems to be fine. Energy a little now that it's been enough hours. He's a little slower, maybe moving around, but whenever we go outside, I take him outside every 2 hours because he's still going. He moves with a lot of energy. I've been in the kitchen cooking. He's definitely interested in food. Um, so he seems to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any idea what triggered this?
I'm
You
guessing
said
because
food change.
I think, yeah, we usually get him the primal raw food,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a finicky stomach, so he has been doing really well with lamb, and as long as we've been feeding him lamb, he's been good. But they just stopped carrying it in our area, and we gave him the freeze dry instead for
Mm-hmm.
several days now, and I think that that's what triggered it. That's my guess. It can be
Okay,
something else, but if I had to guess.
sure. So this is a wonderful example of what we call early warning signs of internal imbalance. When you have an animal that when they're out of balance, they're producing symptoms. So anytime there are symptoms where in order to manage the symptoms, you have to be doing something on a regular basis. Like I can only feed lamb or he has diarrhea, or I can only feed, and that didn't work. So after sometimes months to a year, that no longer works. And you have to move to kangaroo or something like that. Or I can only keep his stools going if I give marshmallow root on a regular basis, or he has to be on probiotics all the time. Or if it's an upper respiratory, it could be only if we have serious respiratory problems unless we're running an air purifier all the time. If we miss one night, then he's really bad again. Any symptoms like that are a clue that the internal balance is off and you need to be addressing that rather than just addressing the current symptom. So, of course, for right now, you want to be just getting him back and you'll have to experiment. Now, in terms of food, that is one of the reasons that we highly recommend feeding a variety of foods. If you're buying commercial, do different brands. And even if it means you cut apart the packages and have small amounts of different brands so that you might be feeding the primal lamb. I mean, now you're going to have to find another lamb for right now, probably, or you'll buy some fresh lamb at the store and see how that does. But you can then slowly add in a different brand food. And if things are doing okay, then you can shift to that for a week or two, and then shift to another one for a week or two. And if you have to slowly transition to any food, that's a clue they're not completely healthy. Now, another thing that can help with the stool at any point is marshmallow root. I recommend marshmallow root over slippery elm for two reasons. Slippery elm is more astringent, according to Greg Tilford, who has this great book called Herbs for Pets. Highly recommend people get this book, Herbs for Pets. Whoops, can you see it? And it's amazing with gorgeous pictures. And he's a W holistic person in terms of looking at it. And he said, so, and the second is slippery elm. They often cut down elm trees just to harvest the bark. So marshmallow is a plant and it's grown. So that's, and it's just more gentle. So that would be another one to start. And then broths is a good way to move them back onto foods, especially fermented broths because they have the natural probiotic in it. Another thing in general that is good to find out if your cats and dogs like is goat's milk, raw goat's milk. That can often be used when they're having problems, and in general as one of your protein sources. So that would be a couple of things to play around with. But as long as his beam is doing well, I wouldn't be rushing. That you may need to be working with a good Chinese medicine vet or remotely with a homeopathic vet so that you can get the vital force rebalance so you no longer get diarrhea when you have food changes.
Yeah, usually he vomits
Or
when we
vomiting.
change food.
That doesn't matter which it
This
is.
is the one thing for me that this is new with the blood in the stool. It's a little
Don't
That's a
worry
new thing
about the
for us.
blood so much. When you have an irritated gut, some blood vessels might break and it might have some fresh blood in it. So, Dr. Jeff, anything more about blood in the stool or?
Well, yeah, for sure, always.
Oh, check the
I
gums too. Mention the gums. I didn't.
chewing gum like regularly.
I've got capillary refill time.
Okay, no, yeah, but what I think? What are you asking?
Just did anything else about um whoops, sorry, I lost the thread. About blood in the stool. Any other warnings about blood in the stool? I'm
No
saying not to
warnings
worry.
whatsoever, but it
I'm
helps
saying not to worry.
localize where the GI. So it's a bright red blood, it's a dark blood, it's a streak throughout the poop. So for example, if it's colitis, if there's straining, if the stool's a little loose and there's, bright red blood and there's straining, and that tends to be more emotional. If there's anything environmental that
Mm,
stressed them out, then that blood would be secondary to the environment.
great point. Excellent. Okay, moving on to Julia.
Thank you both.
Um, sure. So for Julia and anyone else who has animals with skin problems, um, the great thing about having skin problems. Are you guys ready? Those of you who are going, oh no, it just wakes me up all night. Oh no, I think he must be miserable with these skin problems. If you have an energy field whose goal is to have you live as long as possible and to live the healthiest life possible, and it's pushed off balance by something, and it's going to produce symptoms, where do you want those symptoms to be? On the skin or in the liver? On the skin or in the heart? On the skin. So it's like every time they're itching or every time you're seeing even hot spots, you go, yes, it's still on the skin. So that's your mindset can really help, Julia, that you don't worry about that. Now you're doing a lot of supplements. So you're doing Cleaver's tincture, fig phytotherapy, Maxwell pet phytotherapy, nettle tea, AB gut health, a liver tonic, self-heal, crabapple flower E, a lightly cooked diet, great exercise, 2 to 3 hours. That's wonderful. Love dances, love massage time. So you're doing a lot of good things. Are you doing all of those supplements at the same time?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, this is Julia. Yeah, thank you for Dr. Jeff's book. Yeah, I have
Oh,
his book
good.
here.
Perfect.
Cool.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of notes from his, I learned a lot from him. So I just
It's
want to say
perfect for
Thank you.
skin. Perfect for
Yeah.
skin. What he has written
Well,
in there.
here's the
And you're
review
doing
link.
it.
When you're done, you can review it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Put the
Oh, okay.
link in the chat again.
Yeah.
So
So,
are you on all of them at one time?
yes. So
Okay.
it's not like every day, but I kind of switch them a little bit. So pretty much this is the the supplements she's having now.
Okay.
Yeah, and also yeah.
The only key, the challenge with that is when you're doing a whole lot of different things, the body has to process them. So I tend to like people to start with one or two supplements and then wait a week or two and evaluate the change, and then add in another one or two. And then if all of a sudden there's a change, maybe stop the first ones and continue the ones that are helping the most. So try to be a little more organized with with the ones you're doing. I mean, many of those are good nutrients. They're basically food, so that's good. Um, but something is off because it's been going on for so long. You do want to be careful not to suppress and get it to go away quickly. Um, so you may want to be working with a homeopathic veterinarian, or again, a really Chinese medicine veterinarian who's working with that underlying energy field, or doing something yourself. The nice thing about skin problems is you've got the time to be doing energy work on it yourself. So you could learn about the Bingston method, for instance. Are you a member of Holistic Actions?
I'm about going to.
Oh, good. Very good. Well, then go into the skin section of the library so you'll read a whole lot of things you can do to help temporarily, like if you get a hot spot. And then you'll be able to listen to two people talking about the Bingston method, which is an energy method you can learn that can be very, very healing. You can look at Reiki and other energy healing. So we have a lot of people speaking on energy healing methods, and find the one that appeals to you. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Onwards. Um, okay. April wants to know, Jeff, about the slow feeder stainless steel bowl with a dome. Do you know where you purchased it?
I have this slow feeder that we use. It's the Mine pet platter, no dome.
Yeah, I recommend in general, not specifically for your question, April, but I do recommend using a flat surface like that, either a slow feeder or any flat surface, and not using bowls. It was in one of your videos, so sorry.
Oh, you mean Archie's bowl was just the bowl. There was a slow feeder
It
bowl that
says
was just,
stainless steel bowl with a dome.
and it just had a knob in the middle. It's like putting a rock in the middle of a bowl. Because
Oh,
I never
okay.
had a
Got it. Okay. So do you know
s-
where you got that?
oh gosh, it's
Archie's view. It's been a
decades and
while.
decades old
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Can I just clarify real quick? This is
Sure. Go
April.
ahead, April.
So I just heard you mention so no bowls, no elevated platform to feed the dogs. Just use a flat surface and put it on the ground.
Okay, that yeah, probably was the other Dr. Jeff, but okay, yeah, because that was dispelled. That they used to think that raising up ball was bad because it makes it easier for them to scarf the food down, and it actually increases the chance of bloat. But yeah, a flat platter on the ground is best. Is the way they eat naturally, the most naturally.
And
Got
there
it.
are some people that have been feeding up high, and when they start feeding down low, their animals don't want to eat or they seem to be
Hmm,
upset. They feed them back up high and they're doing fine. So it's
hmm.
always pay attention to what's working for your animal. But aim for the lower sides if possible, if not flat.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Sarah, with a golden retriever with really bad skin problems, has had sulfur 30C 201M. So everything we already talked about with April would be your answer, Sarah. And since you're already leaning towards homeopathy, I would definitely be working with a homeopathic veterinarian.
What question I have around that? I'm actually a people naturopathic doctor, so I've been trained in homeopathy myself.
Mhm.
Um, is it different when it comes to animals, or do you?
Nope, it isn't. The key thing, Sarah, is you're not treating skin. You're not, you have to use the totality of symptoms
Right.
in order to treat this. And you're not treating yeast, you're not treating a fungal, you're not, like that. It's like you've got to find the constitutional remedy, basically.
Do you ever use anacardium for these types of issues?
Only when it fits the individual case. For
Hmm.
skin conditions, I would say that between Jeff and I, we've probably used at least 100 different remedies. And there are people who, more than I, use some of the smaller remedies and have used, you know, 2 to 400 of the remedies that are out there,
Hmm.
especially our European colleagues.
And I just want to comment for a sec on anacardium. It's an acute um poison ivy type skin
Anthony,
eruption
do you
because
have good news for
anacardium could be
me? Is the
useful
stuff
for
is
that.
in?
But
Back here, both box of the turkey and also the pizza, and it's good to go. Just whenever you're ready for it.
Awesome. No, we'll be in this afternoon around.
all right, sorry about that. And I'm sorry, Annie, can you hear me?
I
Oh,
can hear you now.
yeah, Sarah is who we were speaking with.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah.
No problem.
Can you hear me, Sarah?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, so is it acute, like an acute poison ivy type
No, this has
breakout,
been
or
going
what?
on forever.
Yeah,
That's
long
what I
time.
thought you said. So I guess
Yeah.
my question is why anacardium?
It's just something that one of my colleagues had mentioned as an option for the chronic
Yeah.
skin.
Yes, you need to absolutely. Would you do that with one of your patients? If somebody came to you with a chronic skin and your colleague said, well, I've had good luck with chronic skin problems by giving da da da, you want to individualize it.
Right.
It's got to fit the whole picture, all the modalities. One thing you might want to do, even if it's for short term, would be to, um, there are a couple of options, but if you became a Holistic Actions member, as I said, you would get the homeopathy for animals course, and
Hmm.
you could take that. And you will learn a lot more about how to treat animals, how to think. Well, you do have to think differently, just like treating infants is different than treating
Right.
adults. So there are some nuances that you'll need to pick up.
Hmm.
And really, you have to focus carefully on evaluation of response for cure, palliation, and suppression. So, like if sulfur 30C didn't move towards a cure, then you wouldn't do the 200.
Right. Yeah. I noticed a really small improvement, so I said,
Right.
let's just up the potency and um but
Yeah.
I gave him a 1M a few
And
days ago and not really much has changed. So,
yep. And you've got an older dog, so it's really worth working with. It may be worth working with a professional at this point.
right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Annie, diagnosed with histiocytic sarcoma, and the tumor is sitting on a lobe on her lung. So, Annie, have you bought the Path to Pet Wellness?
No, in fact, hi, thank you for talking. I just joined
Good.
your site, and I happen to live in Connecticut, not far from you, all of you.
There you
uh,
go.
yeah, and
I
so
would, because what the book will talk about is your way of being, regardless of what the symptoms are.
okay,
And so that's number one. And then number two, fresh food diet. Number three um, would be to work with a homeopathic veterinarian. And number four is start posting, go ahead and do a post in the forum. Make sure
okay,
you've watched the video, the welcome video, so you know how to find things on the website.
yeah,
But definitely post in the forum.
okay. I did have Dr. Stephanie Torloni is in Ivyton, Connecticut. I'm seeing her next Thursday, and she has all of Lily's reports. She not only that, she has Addison's too, and they're only giving
Do
me
you
6
do
for
you
her to
know
look.
her, Dr. Jeff? We've not heard of her. What does she
Yeah,
do?
she's a veterinarian holistic too. She's on 95 Pond Meadow Road in near Essex.
Okay. There are multiple approaches that can help. We personally have found in our lives that homeopathy has been, either homeopathy or Chinese medicine is the best. However, in 45 years of being active with the Holistic Association, I've seen multiple other approaches working. So just be sure you're being the advocate
Yep.
and saying when she tells you the plan, really it has to make sense to you. Have her explain it until it makes sense to you.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
great.
and see if, and again, we're rebalancing the energy field. Why did the energy field produce a tumor? Rather than, oh my God, we got to get rid of this tumor on her lung. But what's going on here? What's out of balance? And is the plan going to be addressing that?
In the last 6 weeks, she's been diagnosed with Addison's disease because of her weight loss and her hair loss, which was actually found by my groomer because her undercoat was coming out with her overcoat. So we had that tested to find out she's at Addison's. And then
Right.
now she's got this tumor because Cornell just did a biopsy and they're trying to put her into chemotherapy and take the tumor out and
Well,
say,
those are, and if you're choosing not to do that, then you need to be the one really paying attention to all that's going on. But the treatment by your local holistic vet should be not, I'm going to treat the tumor, I'm going to do this for the Addisons, but Addison, all the symptoms of Addison's, all the symptoms of the tumor, anything she's ever had in the past, all of those need to be taken into account
okay,
when she puts together the treatment plan. It has to
okay.
make sense to you. If you become a member of Holistic Actions, oh, you did.
I
You
am,
said you did. That's right.
yes,
You just did. So
yes.
you'll see, just immerse yourself. It's a learning platform. It's not just about fixing this one dog. And so you will learn a ton for all the rest of your life.
Of her life as well, I'm hoping to.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Behavioral issue. April has a 1-year-old rescue that demand barks for everything. It's just like, every trainer is different and every trainer has different approaches. My favorite approach for behavior problems is Tellington T-Touch. I would go to their website, ttouch.com. I'd take every course they have and dig in. If you're a Holistic Actions member, we've had a number of excellent behavior people speak. Irene Bloom is, no, her class is already closed. She did just started a puppy class and she talks about choice. And Brendan Goya talks about small steps. Clicker training, there are multiple different approaches. The most important, I would also, if you remember, listen to Elizabeth Ann Johnson, and everybody might want to look up her book. She takes the 5-element theory of Chinese medicine and says when dogs behave like this, they're mostly a wood dog. When they behave like this, they're mostly metal. And that will help you figure out the different treatment approaches that could be used. And it also helps you train them ahead of time for something that might happen when they're older. There was one type, Earth probably, where they tend to be overweight and have joint problems when they get older. So she said, train those dogs to love swimming when they're young because they might need hydrotherapy when they're 13 or 14. So that's the best I can do in the short time we have. Riley, yes. Basically, Riley, do anything that makes the dog happy. That's the key. Pay attention to how they do. And if they're loving it, then that's what you want to be doing. Annette, if you just marshmallow root for diarrhea, you can't overdo it. And it depends on whether you're getting the powder or the tincture. So whatever you're getting in the health food store, then you'll need to ask at the health food store. If I was using this for diarrhea for people, what would I do? The powder you make into a gel with some water and just add it to a little bit of broth or or eyedropper it down, but you can't overdo it. You could put it in the broth once you move up to doing broth.
I have it at home in the leaf form,
In the what form?
just leaves.
Okay. I would have to go look that up in terms of the quantity of grinding that you need to do, making it.
Yeah.
You could make a tea out of it, make a tea out of it with the broth and use that, but how much and how much I can't do off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Sure. Um, Riley's loving the book. The other thing with mobility issues, everyone, because Riley is bringing that up, is I would look for the YouTubes by Lori McCauley, McCauley. And she has a lot of YouTube. She's a veterinarian. She's got a practice that does, works with animals, and it's so great. When I just what she showed me, we were at a conference together, and she showed me pictures of her dog who's older, and she's trained her dog to walk on his hind legs, he can stand beside a low couch on his front legs only and hop up on the couch from his front legs, and talks about walking on hillside parallels, so they're walking tilted, and then you turn around and walk back the other way, so they're tilted the other direction, and doing everything in teeny, teeny, tiny steps. So that would be, that's really good. And the key thing that I think you've heard us say, Kim, much over and over and over again, is magic, love, play. If you have a chance to watch Bernie Siegel's talk that we did at Holistic Actions, and at some point it'll show up on the Pet Talk TV YouTube station. Bernie Siegel is this amazing, he was a oncologist, and he wrote the book Love, Medicine, and Miracles. And a decade ago, he wrote Love, Animals, and Miracles. And he definitely felt love was the key. Absolutely. And, if you're worried about it causing problems, anything you're trying, but they love it, then you're just a little more gentle with it. That's all. So it's up to you to pay attention, but it's most important for them to be to make them happy. That's the key. So it's just ttouch.com as far as I know. Oh, I think we did it. My goodness. The speaker that ties behavior in with TCVM. Okay, so it's Elizabeth. And do you remember the name of her book, Jeff?
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Oh, it's in the chat. Okay. Oh, you got it. You did it already. I just missed it. Okay.
And
Well,
no, don't I get to answer Julia's question?
absolutely.
Please. I mean, that
You can
is the
answer
very
all
first
you
time
want.
anyone ever asked me about that question, so I gotta answer it.
Good.
We're all about, what we're doing here is we're giving you tools to work along with the rhythms of the body, the molecular mechanisms, the healing of the body, which happen to also be the rhythms of life as it is. Symptoms are the body's way of talking to you, of saying what's going on. And when we suppress those symptoms, we actually weaken the body's life force. As far as on a molecular and mitochondrial level, what's happening is that in order to create a symptom, the body's DNA has to be translated to RNA and then protein, and that takes up a lot of energy. Every time that happens, there's the energy being used in the body. And when you suppress the symptom, it actually causes that to work overtime because the body is trying to put that symptom back and end up over time lowering the healing ability and raising the susceptibility of the individual. So yeah, I mean, we hear all the time about a dog that keeps getting an ear problem. Ear gets treated, gets better, comes back, gets better, And then they break with another more serious disease because of the vitality, the mitochondrial function is so altered. So in that vein, it's kind of a great segue into what we're starting on Monday, which is One Health Medicine Month. So what is One Health Medicine? It is the version of sustainability, conservation, One Health. But it's a version that works in the body. So it's the medicine that conserves cellular energy. And it's going to be a month about energetic hygiene, which means how can we conserve energy in our animals and ourselves, in our environment, and what that really means. And I think I talk a little bit about that in the book, but yeah, we all want to join us on Monday for the Holistic Actions Monday webinars on One Health Medicine. And the second one, which is a week from Monday, is coming from New Zealand, so it'll be from the future. So we'll be on Monday night, and Dr. Chandra will be on Tuesday afternoon.
And for everybody to save the chat, you can save the chat with all the good information that's in it, all the links. Just go to the three dots and it'll say save. Or if you're on not a computer, there are other ways, but figure it out. It is savable.
And
Oh,
I've been
look at
waiting a long
Julia's
time to
puppy.
say this, but we'll be back in spring. We will see you on the last Friday of March. Or maybe we'll see you on Monday, but we'll do a
Yep, very
Q&A
good.
then.
And I did put the link in the chat again for, frankly, if you want to do the very, very best for your animals, take the free, if you're not a member, it's still free, Holistic Pet Care course at Holistic Actions. Read Dr. Jeff's book, Path to Pet Wellness. And between those two, you will have the major keys you need in order to have healthy animals. And it's like take the course and take it again and pay attention and dig in. And if you're a member, you get all sorts of links that you can go to as well and read more about many of the topics. So those two things would make a huge difference for you.
They would.
All right.
And the goal being really for you to become the quarterback. We have to be in charge of our animals' health because we know them better than anyone else. Just like kids. Anyway, we'll see you guys in spring and March next month.
Bye now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.